Hi, in this video we are going to take a look at consumers, suppliers, predicates and functions that were introduced in Java version 8. In the last video we learned about functional interfaces and how it contains a single abstract method. If we dig into the Java source code, the package Java util function has more than 40 functional interfaces. These can be roughly categorized into 4 types of functional interfaces, which we'll take a look at next. The 4 important functional interfaces are: the first one is consumer interface. It takes a generic argument and returns nothing. The single abstract method signature is void except and the generic argument t. The second one is supplier interface. It takes no arguments and returns a value. The signature of the single abstract method is the generic return value t method get, which takes no arguments. The third interface is the predicate, which takes an argument and returns a Boolean value. So the signature is Boolean test and the generic argument t. The fourth one is the function. It takes a single argument and returns a value. The signature is R, apply and the generic argument t. A note on the consumer interface. If we look at the source code under Java util functions, the documentation states that unlike most other functional interfaces, consumer is expected to operate via side effects. Now, what does this line mean? In general, in functional programming parlance, a function accepts an input, does some computation on it, and returns a value. It doesn't in any way mutate or modify the state of the input. So it's set to operate without a side effect. Now, if you look at the consumer interface single abstract method, it doesn't return a value. It accepts an input, however. So the consumer is expected to mutate or modify the state of this input. That's why it said the consumer is expected to operate via side effects. Let's take a look at some examples. Again, the source code is committed to GitHub and I have included the link in the description of the video. If we take a look at the consumer demo, I have a list of random strings here. Now, let's say if you want to iterate over each item of this list and print it out on the console. So the code for that would be, I have strlist as the variable. For each method would iterate over each item of this list. And then we have an anonymous inner class with the consumer interface, which simply does system.out.println item. Now, if you see, the accept method accepts each item of the list and it simply prints out the item on the console without returning anything from the method. Now, since consumer interface has a single abstract method, it's a target for Lambda expressions. So let's write it using a Lambda expression. So first we'll have the parameter for the Lambda expression, which in this case would be the parameter which the method accepts, which is string item. So this can be any name. We don't have to name it item. It can be any variable. Then we have the arrow and then the body or the code which runs within the accept method, which is system.out.println item. Now we can again, as we saw in the last video, use the method reference here, which in this case would be system.out::print. We can also assign a variable. We can define this variable called println, which is a consumer, which is system.out::println, and we can use that variable which is a consumer to pass it to for each method. Now there are primitive variations of consumer interfaces within Java. One such variation is the int consumer, which works on the primitive int. If you see, don't worry about this in stream.off. We'll cover that in subsequent videos. But in general, it just creates a stream of integers. Now we iterate over each item using for each, and we have an anonymous inner class here using the int consumer, which accepts the primitive int and prints it out on the console. Just like above, we can create a lambda expression for it. Here we have the variable I, the arrow, and system.out.println I. Again, if you want to use a method reference, it's similarly system.out : print. So that was about the consumer interface and the examples of how to use that. Apart from the consumer interface itself, there are other variants of the consumer interface within the Java library. Those are listed in the table here. Int consumer, which accepts the primitive int. Double consumer, which accepts the primitive double. Long consumer, which accepts the primitive long. Now there's a by consumer, which accepts two arguments and returns no value. There's obj double consumer, which accepts a generic object and a double primitive value. Similarly, there's obj int consumer and obj long consumer, which works on the primitives int and long respectively. Now let's take a look at the supplier example. A supplier is something that takes no argument and returns a value. Now, one of the popular methods within the Java library is the mat.random method, which returns a random double, which you can use to create a supplier, like so. So we can define a supplier variable, a supplier of type double, and we can define a lambda like this. Then there are no parameters. We have the arrow, and the code that returns is the mat.random. Now we can also define a method reference like this. We define here the primitive variant of the supplier called double supplier. Now, how do we use this supplier? If we want to print out the random number, we just use the supplier and invoke the get method. Now for the second example, the random supplier 2, there's a method called as get as double instead of get. Now let's look at another example where we will be using the random supplier. So there's a concept called as the optional class within Java, which may or may not have a value. And there's a method or else get within that, within optional.java, which accepts a supplier. And the return statement is like this. If the value of the optional is not null, it returns the value, or else it will use the supplier to return the value. So if we again go back to the supplier example, here in this case we are defining purposefully an empty optional, which means it doesn't have a value within it. It's empty. Now in the next line, we use this empty optional and invoke the or else get method and provide the random supplier which we had defined here, which returns the random math.random. So in this case, since it's an empty optional, it will use the or else get method and use the supplier that is provided to return the value. So this is another example how you can use the supplier. Again, just like consumer, there are additional supplier interfaces within the Java library, and those are listed here. Int supplier, which deals with the int primitive, basically returns the int primitive. Double supplier, which returns a double primitive. The method name is get as double. Long supplier, which returns a long primitive. The method name is get as long. And Boolean supplier, which returns a Boolean value, and the method name is get as Boolean. Now let's take a look at the predicate example. In the predicate demo class, we have a list of string called cities, which has various cities initialized. Now let's say the goal is to print out the city names which starts with the letter S. So we define a predicate of string like so. We have a lambda which has a parameter str and the arrow, and the code is str.starts with the letter S. The next line, again, don't worry about the stream and filter at the moment. We'll cover that in subsequent videos. But in essence, what stream.filter does is it will filter and use only those values within the city list for whom the predicate returns a value boolean true. Only those will be used, and then it will pipe it to the for each method, which will just print out the values on the screen. So since this predicate returns true for the items for which the value starts with the letter S, only San Francisco and Spain would be printed out on the terminal because of this for each. Now, if you take a look at the predicate interface, there's a default method defined called as AND, which takes another predicate and returns a Boolean value using those two predicates. So it uses its own test method, which returns a Boolean, and then it ANDs it with the test method of the other predicate, and it combined value is returned as a new predicate for that. Similarly, there's a negate, there's OR, and many more. So let's take a look how to use that within our example. So we have a predicate, the other predicate defined here, which says length greater than, which returns true if the length is greater than or equal to 6. So here we, in the filter method, we use the name starts with S predicate. We use the AND method and pass in the other predicate, which is length greater than, which is greater than or equal to 6. So what this would do is it will first filter out the city names which starts with S, which is San Francisco and Spain, and it will also filter out the ones which has length greater than or equal to 6. Since San Francisco is the only such city whose name starts with S and has a length greater than or equal to 6, only that will be printed using the for each and system.out println method. So that's how you can use a predicate within the example. Again, within the Java library, there are additional predicate interfaces like the ones defined in this table. Int predicate, which works on the int primitive, double predicate for double primitive, long predicate for long primitive, and there's a by predicate which takes 2 arguments and returns a Boolean value. Now lastly, let's take a look at the function example. If you see the function demo, again we have a list of string called cities which has the different cities initialized. Now let's say we want to write a traditional anonymous inner class for the function interface. So we write this as like this. So there's a function of type string and integer, which means that the apply method accepts a parameter of type string and returns a value of type integer. So all it does is returns the length of that string parameter. So let's say we pass this anonymous inner class to the stream.map method on the city name, on the cities. So what it does is essentially returns the length of each city, and then it collects all these lengths using dot collect collectors dot toList into another list of integer. So what in essence we have a list of cities and another list of integer with each item representing the length of each of the city. Now let's say we want to write this anonymous inner class using a lambda. So since it accepts a string, let's name it as C. So we write the lambda with the parameter C, then the arrow, and in the body we simply return the length of the string. So we write C dot length here. And lastly, if you want to use the method reference, we can use the string : length method, which in effect does the same thing which we saw in the previous 2 examples. So this is how you write, this is how you use the function interface. There are a lot of additional function interface within the Java library, and these are listed in the table. These are just the variants for the primitive types, and the last one is a by function which accepts 2 arguments and returns a value. So that was all about the consumers, suppliers, predicates, and the function interfaces. Thanks for watching.